Hi guys, it's me, Samuel, again. It's probably gonna be, but this is probably gonna be I guess, best, as this is probably gonna be my last video of 2018. Seeing as though I got a bit of stuff going on for, Christmas and, that's all happening, and I also have, family to see over that period of time, so I'm not exactly going to have time for, making videos. But, that said, I, thought it best if I, made a video for you guys, guess wishing you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If this is, my last video, I mean, obviously, still, like, another working week until Christmas, so, But, I thought I'd, basically just talk to you about something that has, well, I mean, this is more of a Star Wars video than anything else. I'm basically here to talk to you guys about the Last Jedi and, the Star Wars fan base as a whole, since, been wanting to talk to you guys about the Star Wars series as a whole, fan base as a whole, with, with regards to what has been occurring with the fan base over this year. So, straight off the bat, basically, so, The Last Jedi, what do I think about it? Let's start us off with that. Well, I can tell you that I liked the movie. I thought it was, well, I'll admit I didn't understand it at first, but that's okay, because, having bought the Blu-ray back in, well, whenever it was released, I think it was like March or April or something, having bought it back then, and, I mean, some people would call it a waste of money. I'd call it a completionist thing. It's like getting that Rancor Keeper in your Canon Jabba's Palace action figure collection, even though he doesn't actually do anything in the movie. But, no. I like The Last Jedi. And viewing it more on, thanks to having it on Blu-ray, it allowed me to, really drive home the whole, seeing the clever things that happened in it. Right now, I saw it in the cinema, like, 3 times. One with my friends, who, if you're watching this, a couple of them, well, didn't exactly, enjoy the movie, and that's fine, because that's their opinion, okay, it's not my opinion, but, it's good to know that there's, other opinions out there. But yeah, I liked it. So other people liked it. Some people didn't like it. Some people hated it, and others, well, okay, I guess this is where we're going into the whole, well, I mean, we'll get into that in a minute. I liked what they did with, like, Luke Skywalker. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, going into this movie, I thought Luke Skywalker, I mean, I would've, well, actually, no, not going into this movie, I would've thought, that, well, no, going into The Last Jedi, I, along with a lot of other fans, expected Luke Skywalker to be, like, his Return of the Jedi self. You know, all heroic, has, you know, green lightsaber in hand, you know, slicing out stormtroopers. That's, which, you know, I guess if you were wanting that from your hero, a hero that you may have grown up with, I suppose then it might be a little bit weird to see him, like, throw away his father's lightsaber, you know, like, over his shoulder, like, I mean, that's a bit of a thing, you know? It's well, I mean, but I think people who would just get disappointed at that point in the movie, it might, I think they might have missed the point about what The Last Jedi is. It's supposed to challenge the Star Wars status quo, per se. It's, well, I believe it's supposed to, create, is supposed to evolve of what, you know, you perceive Star Wars to be, but giving it, you know, well, I mean, it's supposed to retain the core elements, but also introduce new elements that, you know, make it less of a cliche than we've expected, than we've come to see it as. So, I think that in that sense, I mean, obviously, this is just my opinion, but I think it did good at that. Now, well, for instance, I mean, some people might disagree with this, but, referencing a video made by the Warp Zone, back when, you know, there was a lot of, let's say, aggressive debates regarding The Last Jedi, a point that the Warp Zone made was about the Holdo maneuver and how, you know, Admiral Holdo crashed, you know, the Mon Calamari cruiser into the Supremacy, which is Snoke's flagship, and how that apparently it messes with Star Wars' internal logic. With the whole internal logic being that how space battles are fought, and in that sense, apparently crashing a ship, hyperdriving a ship through another ship, completely destroys that, and quote unquote, they state this is a reference or something, that you know, if a Death Star was about to destroy the Rebel base planet thing, they could just, you know, aim a ship at said Death Star and just, you know, which, you know, if you think about it, it doesn't actually, you know, mess with the internal logic, because we have seen ships ram into other ships. I mean, look at Rogue One. That part of the whole awesomeness that was the space battle was how, you know, ships were crashing into other ships and stuff, you know, and, you know, Death Stars are like the size of a small moon. At least the first one was. The second one was way larger. Snoke's ship pales in comparison into that. I mean, I don't know how big it is, but I'm pretty sure our Death Star is way bigger, and has way more volume than Snoke's ship could ever hope to muster. Second of all, but so, you know, the Mon Calamari cruiser wouldn't make a dent in it, and even if they had a ship at the size of the Eclipse, I mean, sure, that might be able to do some major damage, but you'd still probably have like half a Death Star. I mean, the super laser might not be intact, but you could still deploy TIE fighters like it was nobody's business. The Eclipse is, by the way, a Legends ship. It's actually the largest ship in Star Wars Legends. But point is a ship with hyper ram, who could hyper ram, wouldn't be able to destroy Death Star by that. And General Dodonna in the original movie said that the Death Star was designed to handle a large scale attack, like a hyper ramming ship, probably. Also, another video states that, and this is probably the same with Star Wars Canon and Star Wars Legends, is that hyperdrives are expensive, and if you think about it, the Resistance, at least, isn't exactly what you call the most well-funded institution in Star Wars. They have, so hyper ramming ships isn't exactly something they could just do like that. So, but I get that it might seem a little bit weird at first sight. You really need, but I think what you need to do is watch the movie several times in order to understand where Rian Johnson was going from. But this is just my opinion, guys. I mean, for all I know, I'm an idiot. So, and some of you might think, at last, something intelligent he said. But, I mean, that's your opinion, man. And, I mean, I know there are people smarter than me, but, I'm not the dumbest person in the world. Probably, anyways. So, what? Well, so, I think, but yeah, well, people who despise movies like The Last Jedi usually have usually have a louder voice, which is something that a video that I actually watched just today from this guy called Hello Greedo. The guy said that said that people who don't like certain things tend to have a louder voice. I guess it's a thing with people that just choose to not like things. I mean, historically it would make sense. And so that's and people who tend to like things tend to be spoken over by the people who don't like things. Which, I mean, I think people should be allowed to have a voice. You should have a voice, express your own opinions. Whether you like things or you hate things, you should be able to feel free to express those opinions. But always keep it civil. That's something that you should always do. Always allow others to have their spotlight, okay? Because it's not all about you. Yeah. And I get why people, and I get why some people might not like Disney's take on the Star Wars universe. And I also, and while it might, while I'm not defending them, I'm also, actually, no, hold on. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, some people prefer the old classic Star Wars universe, the expanded universe, or Legends as it's been known. And actually, I have, basically this year, this year I have, in an attempt to kind of understand the other side of the spectrum, I decided to look into the Star Wars Legends expanded universe, which which people seem to think, a lot of people think is extraordinarily good, and Disney cannot even meet those standards. And they're mad that Disney retconned all the old expanded universe in favour of, new material. So basically, I decided to take a look into these old expanded universe things. In fact, just take a look there. Okay, so you might not be able to see it, but behind Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker, or Return of the Jedi style, even though that the Vader figure's from, the original Star Wars, that is from here to round here, is what I've collected so far of the Star Wars EU in comic book form. Now, over here are my Star Wars Expanded Universe books. And I've actually read all of these within the year. So, guys, I mean, don't think that... Just put that there. Okay, so, guys, don't think that I don't know that about the expanded universe. Don't think that I don't know what I'm talking about, because I do. Okay? I mean, this is probably the tip of the iceberg. I mean, there are way more expanded universe novels, okay, than, I can probably count. Well, I say that. There's probably, I could probably go on Wikipedia and see how many expanded universe novels there are. But with a universe as vast as Legends, you might want, you might want to stop and think. Well, I mean, this didn't come overnight, did it? This didn't happen all at once. And this was built over a long time, like 37 years worth of storytelling went into these books, comics, and TV shows, if you've watched Droids and Ewoks. And I think that's... yeah, I get why, EU fans are mad at Disney for doing... for retconning all of this, because, it is 37 years worth of storytelling. It's not, a dime a dozen worth. But what I'm saying is, you shouldn't discount the new Star Wars material either, because, okay, if we count, because if we go from 2014, when Disney retconned the old expanded universe and and put in some new stuff, if we look at that as, I mean, that is at best 4 years worth of storytelling. 4 years, 4.25 actually. Okay, now compare that to the 37 years that it took for, the original expanded universe to come in to effect. I mean, you really shouldn't, I mean, until, maybe when the new Star Wars canon has, gone 37 years worth of material, I really don't think you should go, but I think you guys should wait a minute, then compare. Maybe maybe the future stuff will be good, maybe it will be bad, maybe some will be good and some will be bad. I mean, much like, the old expanded universe, because I'm going to be honest with you guys, the expanded universe was never, but Legends was never perfect. Sure, you had awesomeness such as the Darth Plagueis novel, the Thrawn trilogy, but it also had it also had bad parts as well. Stuff that contradicted it other bits. Heck, even the Thrawn trilogy wasn't perfect. Fun fact, in the Thrawn trilogy, it is stated that the Clone Wars happened and 40 years prior to the events of A New Hope, or the original Star Wars. But, as we all know, the Clone Wars happened 22 years is prior to the events of A New Hope. Now, I'm pretty sure that there'll probably be someone who might or might not comment on this video and say, oh, well, I mean, maybe it was in Nogri years or whatever. But point still stands. Thrawn trilogy, he wasn't perfect. I love it, but I also get the flaws in it. Yeah, and as a guy who grew up with, as a 2000s kid who grew up around the prequels, although I never actually watched them in cinemas, I was more or less a Clone Wars kid, you know. As a kid who grew up with the Clone Wars and grew up reading all this vast Star Wars lore, it's I can see the inconsistencies. So, you know, there were some Star Wars novels that didn't even make sense. I mean, take the Crystal Star, for example. But I mean, you guys judged The Last Jedi for being bad. At least The Last Jedi knew what colour C-3PO was. The Crystal Star had be all purple and stuff. And if you think Luke throwing away his father's lightsaber was weird, Crystal Star Luke, it was basically turning his lightsaber on and off for, like, most of the novel. I mean, granted, I haven't watched it, but no, I haven't read it, but, you know, I know the plot, and I know, and it can seem a little bit silly. So, you know, so, you guys shouldn't be what I'm trying to say is you guys shouldn't be judging, people shouldn't be judging the new Star Wars canon, and especially if you haven't actually looked into it, because, you know, there are storylines that, you know, are pretty good, actually. I mean, if you read the new Darth Vader, Dark Lord of the Sith comic series, I mean, that's a pretty good, gives us a pretty good idea about what it was like for Vader after Episode 3. I mean, granted, we had novels from Legends that told a different story, but, you know, that doesn't mean that Disney won't cover those areas. You know, give a couple of years and Disney will even do Old Republic stuff. And yes, people will be all like, oh, they ruined Revan, or, oh, jeez, is Bastila Shanta's not wearing her costume or whatever from Legends, and, you know, I mean, guys, come on. We gotta give, why don't you wait 37 years until, when Legends and, when the new canon has caught up to the EU. And actually, come to think about it, there are still contributions being made to the EU. Take the Old Republic games, Knights of the Fallen Empire, or Knights of the Eternal Empire, or something, I don't know. I mean, that's Legends, so, yeah, I don't think it's, I mean, it might not be what it used to be, but there is still stuff that's been contributed to it, so, you know, what I'm saying is, just give it a chance. And if you don't like it, well, that's fine. You still got the original trilogy. I mean, they're not going anywhere. And if you got the originals, well, like the original theatrical releases like mine, it's even better, dude. So, yeah. Also, Solo. Well, why boycott that, dude? I mean, I've already made a video about my thoughts about that, but yeah. So, sum up, Last Jedi, I liked it. You guys might have another opinion, and that's good. Keeps us talking. And Solo, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. I liked it. My recommendation. Guys, but also, if you guys want to see, but if you guys are like new to Star Wars, or have watched some of the newer movies, but are curious about the expanded universe, start with the Thrawn trilogy. Yes, I know there are some inconsistencies, but worth it. And because like Canon, and Legends wasn't perfect, but it was good. Canon is also good. And yeah. So not sure if this is going to be in my final video for 2018, guys, but yeah. I'll probably put my thoughts and feelings of 2018 in another video. Probably something that'll come out in January, or maybe next week. Who knows? Anyways, so for those of you after Christmas, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and may the Force be with you all, and Happy Life Day. Yeah.